Leah's been looking into this one. Internet connection still seems to be okay. You're getting information out of there.
We are, and people seem to be like frustrating tweeting, because they're in all of these long lines, and it's hard to blame them really, because as the financial crisis in Zimbabwe does deepen, the conversation online really does grow, because like Heather was saying, lines are long at petrol stations and dozens of businesses are shut. Everything from clothing stores to pharmacies and fast food chains. Some say the closures are temporary. Others haven't given any indication if they'll open anytime soon. Now, it's so bad that the food chain KFC is literally out of chicken. It says it doesn't have any more money to buy what it's famous for. They say this is due to the fact that we are unable to source stock from our suppliers as they require US dollars. We're doing everything possible to resume trade as soon as possible. St. Elmo's Pizza, it's a Zimbabwe pizza outlet, they shut its branches as well for the same reason, because they have no ingredients. And we heard from one Zimbabwean who says that this new tax is especially affecting the poor.
I think Zimbabwean citizens are angry with the government. This government created this cash crisis that we're in, and so we've been forced to mainly use electronic transactions, and now they introduce this transaction tax, basically 2 cents on every dollar that's transacted, which disproportionately will affect poor people because there is actually a flat tax rate for larger transactions that obviously the more wealthy will do. So this is a tax that affects the poor. It's an anti-poor policy to pay back this illegitimate, odious government debt, and we don't even know what this debt was used for by government.
Others are still talking about what many are calling the price madness or the spike in food prices. One user here shared this picture with the caption that said, "Goodbye green tea," because it's literally going to cost her $27 for one of those tiny packs. And one user says to think only a fortnight ago or 2 weeks ago, we're doing fine as a country. Not great, but just fine. Zimbabwe, how did we even get here? At which point did we get it wrong? Now, understanding how all these monetary problems play out now and in the past isn't always easy, but we found something which might help you. It's from the Al Jazeera archives, the Zimbabwean presidential election back in 2008, where our anchor in Harare took out the issues of cash supply and hyperinflation. You may recognize him.
This is a 100 US dollar note, 100 US dollars. If I were to take that to an official Zimbabwean bank and exchange it at the official Zimbabwean exchange rate, I would get these 4 notes. They are $750,000 each. That means my 100 US dollars turns into 3 million Zimbabwean dollars. Now, what you have to bear in mind is this is not a lot of money. Have a look at this. This is a 300 ml bottle of Coke, which I bought yesterday. That cost 15 million Zimbabwean dollars. At the official exchange rate, that cost 500 US dollars. 500 US dollars for a bottle of Coke. So what ends up happening here is that Zimbabweans use the black market. Now, because of the supply of cash in the country, they can supply a lot more money on the black market. Instead of 3 million Zimbabwean dollars, I get 3 billion. This great big wad of cash is 3 billion Zimbabwean dollars. It turns my bottle of Coke into a 50-cent bottle of Coke, which is far more palatable, I'm sure you'll agree. I mean, each one of these notes is $10 million. They are printing off money all the time. Now, obviously, logic tells you, you print more money, more notes enter the market. That means the money is worth less. This $3 billion might be worth maybe only 1 billion, 2 billion in a few weeks' time.
Kamal, I just love that. I actually don't really know what you just said because I was just looking at your hair.
Leah,
Don't
thank you for
hate
that. No, thank you, Leah. Great segment.
It was great.
Yeah.
Great hair, too.
Yes, I had more hair back then.